What, you don't know me?
Hell no. Yeah.
Hey, hey, I think that's what we'll say.
You never know. Y'all keep playing with me and I'll go right there.
Rampage Jackson thought the worst was already behind him, but every new detail shows things are only getting darker. What started as one shocking night in the ring has spiraled into a legal battle, public outrage, and even his own father turning against him. And the truth is, the situation keeps getting worse in ways nobody saw coming. And if you're enjoying this kind of breakdown, help me hit my goal of 1,000 subscribers. Your support keeps stories like this coming. On August 23rd, what was supposed to be just another indie wrestling event in Los Angeles turned into a nightmare. The show was being live streamed on Kick when Rampage Jackson, dressed in street clothes, stormed the ring. At first, fans thought it was part of the script. Wrestling is full of surprises after all. But within seconds, it was clear this wasn't entertainment. After a brief confrontation, Raja slammed Syko Stu to the mat and unleashed over 20 punches, even as Stu went completely limp. The crowd watched in shock, unsure if they were seeing an act or a real assault. And the scariest part? The referee just kept counting, as if nothing was wrong. But the fallout from that moment would expose just how much worse things were about to get. The beating left Syko Stu in a state no fan ever wants to see. Reports confirmed that he didn't just get knocked out, he suffered serious, lasting injuries. Both of his jaws were damaged, doctors found a fractured maxilla bone, and several teeth were knocked out completely. His lip was torn open, and he had major trauma to the head that could have been fatal if medical staff hadn't rushed in when they did. He was hospitalized for more than a week, leaving fans in suspense as rumors swirled about his condition. When Stu finally returned home, he confirmed he was still dealing with the aftermath, pain and surgeries, and the kind of recovery that could take months, if not longer. And here's what made it even worse. Syko Stu is a military veteran. He had been trying to transition back into civilian life through wrestling, something that gave him purpose after years of service. For many, that made the attack feel not just violent, but deeply unfair, almost like he had been targeted when he was least prepared to defend himself. Online, that outrage exploded. Clips of the incident spread across social media like wildfire, and fans started demanding answers. Was this just an out-of-control fight or something far more sinister? And once the public pressure built to a boiling point, authorities had no choice but to take action. For weeks after the incident, fans questioned why nothing was happening. The attack had gone viral. Syko Stu was lying in a hospital bed, and yet Rampage Jackson was walking free. It wasn't until September 18th, almost a month later, that authorities finally made their move. Raja was arrested and hit with a felony battery charge, causing serious bodily injury. That charge is no joke. On paper, it carries up to 4 years behind bars. But if the court rules that great bodily harm was inflicted, which Stu's shattered jaw and missing teeth seem to prove, then Raja could be staring down 6 years in prison. Still, it didn't take long for the Jackson name to come into play. Within just 1 day, Raja was back out on the streets after posting a $50,000 bail. And it wasn't Raja paying that bill, it was his father, Rampage Jackson, the former UFC champion with decades of fame and millions of dollars behind him. That fast turnaround raised eyebrows everywhere. To many, it looked like money and influence were already working to shield Raja from the full weight of the law. Fans who had been calling for justice suddenly wondered if this would all be swept under the rug like so many other sports scandals. But then came the twist nobody expected. Rampage himself turned on his son, and his words shocked everyone. At first, Rampage Jackson defended his son. He claimed Raja had been provoked. pointing to a beer can that was thrown into the ring and suggesting that maybe Raja believed it was all part of the show. Wrestling is scripted, after all, and in the chaos of live events, the line between performance and reality can blur. For a moment, it almost sounded like Rampage was trying to justify the attack as a misunderstanding gone too far. But then, in a stunning reversal, Rampage changed his tone. In a later interview, he admitted that Raja had gone too far and declared that his son had dishonored my name. He went further, saying Raja should face jail time, community service, and therapy. That blunt admission stunned fans. Some praised Rampage for being honest, while others felt he had thrown his own son under the bus when he needed support most. This divided the community. Hardcore MMA fans argued Rampage was right to draw a hard line. Violence outside the rules isn't excusable, even in combat sports. But others suspected something more strategic. Was Rampage trying to distance himself publicly to protect his own reputation, while still quietly using his influence to shield Raja behind the scenes? The contradictions in Rampage's statements only deepened the mystery. And meanwhile, new reports started surfacing about what may have really been happening backstage that night. Because if the whispers are true, this wasn't just a fight gone wrong. It may have been a setup from the very beginning.
As the story unfolded, whispers about what really happened backstage began to surface. Some wrestlers claimed the promoters had instructed them not to speak directly to law enforcement, instead funneling all communication through a small circle of trusted staff. That raised immediate red flags. Why would anyone block eyewitnesses from talking to the police unless they were trying to protect someone? Then there was the infamous beer can incident. Was it a harmless prop, part of the scripted performance, or a provocation meant to push Raja over the edge? Witnesses disagreed. Some said it was clearly a setup to create tension in the ring, while others suggested Raja knew exactly what he was doing and crossed the line on purpose. And money seems to play a role too. With Rampage Jackson backing him, Raja had access to high-powered legal teams and influence that could sway decisions behind the scenes. There are even claims that promoters tried to shield him, ensuring a new wrestling promotion would pick him up despite the assault, keeping him out of immediate trouble. The more this comes into focus, the more it looks like the attack wasn't just a spontaneous fight. It may have been part of a larger, carefully managed plan to protect Raja while letting the drama unfold publicly. And if that's true, it changes everything. Legal experts now say Raja might still dodge the worst consequences, leaving fans to wonder, is this a case of justice? Or is the system being manipulated right in front of our eyes?
The legal side of this case is just as intense as the drama in the ring. Most experts agree that attempted murder charges were unlikely. Proving intent to kill in a live wrestling event, even one that ended violently, is extremely difficult. Instead, Raja was charged with felony battery causing serious bodily harm, a charge that is much easier to stick. But that doesn't mean he's out of the woods. Because of the severity of Syko Stu's injuries, fractured jaws, broken bones, missing teeth, the charge could escalate. If the court decides the attack caused great bodily harm, Raja could face up to 6 years in prison. That's a huge jump from the standard 4-year maximum for a felony. Legal analysts also point out potential defenses Raja might try. He could argue that he was provoked, that the attack happened in the heat of the moment, or even that he believed some of the action was part of the scripted performance. Another possible defense, self-defense, claiming he believed he needed to act to prevent further harm, though experts say that argument is a long shot given the footage of him repeatedly striking an unconscious opponent. Even with the legal system pressing forward, Raja's future remains murky. The combination of his father's influence, promoter backing, and legal maneuvering could drastically affect the outcome. Some fans are now asking, will he face the full consequences? Or will money and connections allow him to skate by? And no matter what the courts decide, One thing is clear. Raja's reputation in wrestling and combat sports has already taken a hit that might never fully heal. The aftermath of Raja Jackson's attack is still unfolding, and the ripple effects are massive. His name is now forever tied to one of the most shocking moments in modern wrestling. Fans, promoters, and fellow fighters are questioning whether he can ever recover, not just in the ring, but in the public eye. Syko Stu, meanwhile, continues his long road to recovery. The incident has left him physically hurt and mentally shaken, and many in the wrestling community are rallying behind him. Stories of his military service and his efforts to reintegrate into civilian life make the attack feel even more unjust, fueling the outrage online. As for Raja, the big question looms. Will justice actually catch up to him, or will influence, money, and legal maneuvering shield him from the consequences he deserves? Even with potential jail time, legal experts warn that defenses like heat of the moment or provocation could dramatically alter the outcome. And then there's the deeper concern. What does this mean for combat sports as a whole? When does wrestling cross the line from scripted entertainment into criminal liability? When does protecting a star's reputation outweigh the safety of performers? One thing is certain, the Raja Jackson situation keeps getting worse, and the wrestling world and the public are watching closely.